Well, good morning. I have my Jets on, my Jets hat on today. You know what that means? Fighting another losing battle with another piece of equipment around the old homestead. I can't seem to get these things all straightened out. You own a house, things break down. This time it's the house generator. It's a portable house generator that runs 2/3 of the house, and it will not start. And when it does, it backfires. And today, hopefully, we're going to get this thing all straightened out. Okay, so we're going to give this a try. So here's what we got to do. I'm going to turn this camera around because I don't want to be in the pictures anymore because they're not going to work on me. I'm working on now. I got my old dirty shirt on. I get my war hat. You don't want to see what I'm wearing as a pants. But here we go. Let's turn this baby around and show what we're going to do. Okay, so that's a generator. It's about 4 years old. It probably has about 20 hours on it maximum. We haven't had a problem after hurricane such and such came through. But this is a Duro Max. It's got a propane and gas availability for fuel. That's the gas. We've never run gas in this thing. We have the propane tanks over here, 230 pounders. Let's turn one on. And when it's sitting for a while, I want to hit that valve to make sure it's open. You'll hear a little surge. If it does, we're going to hit the regulator. Again, there may be some stuff in it. We don't know. I haven't had it run for a while. And now we're just going to go down to the generator. Okay, so it automatically has a gas valve here, and we want to keep that turned off because number one is there's no gas in here. Plus, if there was, it'd be a combination of propane and gas. Not a very good thing. All right, so all we have to do, we want to make sure the circuit breaker's off, even though there'll be no load because there's no wires coming out. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. So there's no prime necessary. We have a choke. I'm sorry about that. We have a choke, and always pull it forward. That's the choke. Let's give it a try. And that's what we got. So let's take the choke off. Let's try it again. Oh. Let's try the idle controller. We'll put that on. That's usually run for gas only. So she's not running very good. So that's what we have right there. All right. So now it's time to diagnose it. And I got to get some tools, and we'll set up and we'll go through some of the steps. So it didn't start. You saw it didn't start. So the very first thing I'm going to do, since it's only run on propane, so you kind of find out, well, it may be the propane, it may be, well, propane doesn't go bad. That's why I started with the propane. I didn't want to leave gas in the tank for months at a time, years at a time, and for that to go bad, so we use clean propane. The first thing I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to the propane and I'm turning this off. Now, I had this turned off because I've run both of them before and it didn't work, so I just wanted to make sure it did have propane to the machine, and it did. So what I'm going to next do is I'm going to take this attachment that goes to the generator. I'm going to disconnect the propane line, and I'm going to smell for any propane leaks. I'm going to look in there and see if there's any type of obstacle. It doesn't seem like there is. So I'm going to put the cap on because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. So we don't want any propane going to the generator right now. So we're going to put the cap on so nothing flies in if I forget to put it on later. And that's all I'm doing. Once it's disconnected, no propane is going to the generator. Next, what I will do is I got a can of gas. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some gas in it, and we're going to try to run it on gas. All right, so I have a gas can. There's probably about maybe a gallon or two of gas to put in this tank. I, for one, don't like pouring gas in without a spout, so we're going to do it this way. We're going to siphon it out, get it going, turn the lid, and the gas is just going to siphon into the tank. And it's an 8-gallon tank, so I can just leave it alone until I have no gas in to in the can itself. So there's only about 2 or 3 gallons of gas maximum. I would say 2, and let's fill that up. Okay, that's enough. We got about at least 1.5 gallons in there, and that should be enough to, if it works on gas, this should be enough. Okay, so let's put this thing down, put the lid on it, and let's see if we can give it a start. Let's put this down a little more. We'll bring this down here. Oh, first things first. Let's open up the fuel gauge. That guy right there. This flap, I should have took that off a long time ago. We're turning the fuel on. We're gonna let the fuel go down into the carburetor a little bit. It should siphon as soon as I turn on the switch. Okay, here we go. Let's give it a go. Alrighty, if you can hear me, because it's quite loud. It's on. Let's put the idle controller on. Voila! Got to warm up while she's running. So at least we know it's the propane. If the propane is, the gauge is not open, if a jet is closed by maybe a bug or a spider or something like that. So now we can trace that back. I'll do that in another video. But if you have problems with this generator on propane, that's all you have to do. And by the way, oh, I think that's a little better to talk. By the way, I'm going to turn this around, and I did check this. The first thing I did, I didn't tell you, but I checked the oil level. Now, most of these models have an oil lever shutoff, an emergency shutoff if the oil gets too low, and you don't want it to have to run too low without a warning. So there's the oil. So the dipstick. I pulled that out first. We had plenty of oil because it hasn't been run. It's perfectly clean oil, so I knew it wasn't the oil. Now there is an alert. This unit does not have a low oil alert. Some of the newer generators, some of the older generators, they have that on. This one doesn't have it, but if it had it on, you would just take the yellow wire, disconnect the yellow wire coming from that area down there below, and you could have checked and see if that was faulty. But with the gas, just putting the gas in, started this generator up. So I'm safe. Don't like the idea of using gas, but you use what you have. And I will fix that propane because got a few full tanks I got to use up. Okay, until next time, I hope that helps you with any generator. You can do that way. If it's dual fueled, it's a hybrid. But always check the fuel source first. If you're not getting it, change this fuel source and see if that works. It'll save you many, many hours of trying to figure out what it is by taking the carburetor apart, taking the spark plug apart. This first simple fix. We'll fix the hard part in the next show. God bless, and we'll see you on the next trip. This is Chef Craig's DIY2 channel. We cook, we clean, we fix. We're just life. I mean, we just want to live our lives and give you a little expertise and little tips, little DIY projects on my channel. See you next trip, folks.